Here, so let me look for it. Well, I should have had this pulled up here. But yeah, so she said that she was actually on set, and then they did that for it. Let me see here. Where is it at? Come on, where are you at? Where is it going? Where are you? Oh,
where's your head?
Oh, and also something cool.
Get it?
Oh, where's your head? That's a good move. That's a good song. So The Dead Don't Die features at least one actor from every one of Jarmusch's previous fiction feature films.
That's cool.
Everything going all the way back to 1980s Permanent Vacation. Oh, so here. Rather than use a dummy head, Gomez helped create the gruesome scene by kneeling on the ground next to the driver, making it appear as if he was holding her by the hair. The rest of her body was then digitally edited out in post-production, with added special effects of guts and black smoke spilling from her severed neck.
What?
So she just hung out on set while Adam Driver held her hair.
That's crazy.
But he's cool. She seems cool. So, and Bill Murray's there. Chloe's there.
Everybody who's there is probably pretty cool.
Chloe was like a New York mainstay in the 90s. She was in Kids, that Larry Clark film. She worked at Liquid Sky, the clothing store that was based on the cult classic film, which we covered on the podcast. It'll be coming up soon. So Liquid Sky, she worked there. So she was like a badass. So I bet Selena was happy to hang out with all these people on set.
I get the vibe from reading all these interviews and seeing cast quotes that the sets are typically pretty chill. Now, I know that this one, as we mentioned, suffered from budget issues. They never quite got the full budget they were promised, and there was a lot of rain that they had to deal with every day. And then, did you know that Jarmusch actually got pneumonia? He got walking pneumonia during this.
Oh, no.
And had to deal with that. But I still get the vibe that it's chill. These are very professional actors. They're doing this super dry comedy, and he's even quoted that he doesn't like a militant set.
No, they're terrible.
So he thanked his first AD multiple times. Twice in the credits. Attila, I'm going to butcher the last name, User? Attila went through this rough shoot, and he's the type of person who never yells.
Good. You don't need a yelling AD.
He speaks softly and makes everyone listen to him.
That's what you should do.
And approaches everything calmly. So he was thanked profusely by Jarmusch, and that's very interesting.
On Clint Eastwood sets, in the last few years, he's older. So they only shoot about 6-7 hours a day, maybe 8. But on his films, you don't yell. No one goes, rolling! No one goes, action! No one goes, cut! You just put your hand up in the air, you do the circle in the air. So you take your pointer finger, and you put it up in the air and you shake it around. That means rolling.
Yeah,
so you don't
you're twirling.
You don't do the Clueless thing, rolling with the homies. Yeah, you don't do that. Yeah, you're not doing that.
You're not doing the Macarena?
But on this one, on his sets, you never yell. And he wants it done. But the thing is, if it's a 6-7 hour day, that means you got to show up and you got to get stuff done. You can drink your coffee, but you can't drink as much coffee as you normally would on the grueling sets. You got to show up and get that done. So when he's ready to shoot 1-2 takes with the actors, done. So Jarmusch, I kind of have an idea of, I mean, people work with him a lot. Many people come back. They want to work with him. So if you have a bad rep, or if you're a militant director, people aren't going to want to be there. Mm-hmm. Now, I know Michael Bay gets a lot of problems for being he calls himself a general on film sets. But I think a lot of actors like his movies because you're just supposed to find your own way on it. And if you're an actor, I mean, Frances McDormand's been on these movies. Like, I don't think she would work with just anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I on Transformers, totally different movie than what we're talking about. but in those films, he's like, the camera's on you, act. And they're like, oh crap, I gotta do this. Like, there's so many different styles. But on Jarmusch, I think 1-2 takes maybe. He trusts his actors. When you have Danny Glover, Chloe, Bill, and Adam on set, you probably don't need too many takes because they've all been acting for a while and they're great. So you just trust them.
Yeah, and the thing is too, the way he talks about these people in interviews is a lot of them are his friends. I mean, they are longtime friends, personal people that he talks to on a regular basis. Tilda is a friend, Tom is a friend, Iggy's a friend. Several of these people he just converses with regularly, and I wouldn't think that your friends would want to continue to work with you if you were just an asshole.
Yeah. And especially since Bill Murray popped up.
Yeah, and Bill is a friend. I think that speaks volumes to what he is like and what the production would be.
I mean, I'd love to work on that. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun shoot. I think a lot of the things...
I would have a hard time not laughing.
There's a lot of PAs on this movie, which is interesting. I saw that in the credits. A lot of PAs.
Why do you think?
maybe different days that they were used on, maybe for lockups. I mean, you have driving scenes, so you need to keep the streets empty.
That's true.
So maybe they needed a lot of lockup PAs because extras are minimal. But also on the big zombie days, you need extra PAs to help wrangle.
Yeah. And get through makeup and everything.
I mean, zombies get expensive.
Yeah, I remember your stories about movies that have a lot of that kind of stuff.
They're nightmares. Zombies are a pain because you have ears, you have eyes, you have teeth, you have fingernails.
Yeah, you could have full prosthetics.
And there's
wardrobe.
a finger person. There's an ear person. There's a specific person for contact lenses.
Oof.
If you guys ever get bored and you want to watch something, and if you own Goosebumps, the Blu-ray, watch the behind the scenes footage, and you'll see how many fingers there are just for the zombies. And also, if you're watching it, you'll see me in the background, and then you'll hear somebody going, "Hey, Mark!" So I'm in the background on one of those, dealing with all the creatures.
You should be in the credits for it.
I have a cameo appearance. You just got to look it up. But yeah, so I mean, and he seemed pretty shook by having all these extras because of coffee and cigarettes, right? Not many.
Super minimal. Well, and think about it. Each vignette was only, a couple people that you filmed at a time?
Yeah. And Patterson, I mean, he had bus driving scenes, but he shot the same thing over and over. Walking from his house, going to the bar, waking up in the morning.
Oh, that's true.
So that's an easy shoot. You just shoot the same thing over a different wardrobe.
Well, in Only Lovers Left Alive, it's very much scenes with 2 or 3 people.
In that one house. Or driving around. So I guess, and at night. So he's probably not used to having that many zombies. And they're tough. And he said they were long days.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to hear him say that. I'm like, haha, Jim.
Aw.
I wish him nothing but well, but when I heard that, I'm like, welcome to my life. But yeah, so, I don't know. But at the end of the day, this movie is just so loaded with just fun stuff. So I love it when like Adam Driver says, this is definitely going to end badly. And then Bill Murray says, shut up, Ronnie. And then, shut up, Ronnie. And then Ronnie goes, you shut up. I could listen to Adam Driver and Bill Murray telling each other to shut up all day.
I like how they diffuse it, though. They just they take a breath, and then Bill asks him, so you know how this ends. What happens? Ronnie says, we give it our best shot.
And they go out
But it ends badly.
And then in slow motion, they just kill zombies. And they could have lived through that, Meg. They
probably could have, yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird fight.
They could have run away.
Exactly. Did they die because of the script they said they had to?
Oh, this is like Devs.
Whoa. But they could have changed the name. No, never mind.
You don't know.
I'm not going to say it. Devs is so
don't
good.
Don't do it. Don't spoil Devs. It's too exciting.
Oh, it's so good.
So, you want to hear something funny?
No.
What? Well, all right, I'm done.
I'll read
Good night, everyone.
All right, I'm going to stay around and just read what notes you have left.
I'm going to hide them. Okay, so Adam, someone asked Jim about this. Did Adam, who is he playing in this movie? Is he playing himself? He's an actor? What's going on there? And the answer was that Adam is playing an actor who is not Adam Driver, but who knows what's going on. So he's playing just some actor who knows what's happening.
But the world's, who wrote it for them?
I mean, I don't know.
This is weird.
The aliens, duh.
But I love it. I like...
That's why he doesn't know about the aliens, because they wrote it.
Wow. Do you know what I like, too, about this? Is that this isn't... I think Only Lovers Left Alive... This is going to sound weird, but it made vampires almost sexy again. Right? It made them...
Mark, I thought Twilight did that.
But you know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, you're right.
No. Italian
razzle-dazzle.
Twilight. Yeah. Italian Twilight.
Oh, so we were in Italy, and... Italy?
Yeah, we were in different cities, and in every city at nighttime, we'd sort of get in at the same time, and we'd turn on the TV, and it was the next Twilight movie.
In
Italian.
And it's better.
It's, it's better.
It sounds more passionate.
It does. Also, without having to hear what they're saying, it's better.
But I think it sort of messed with the genre, and it made him really sexy, and it made him really cool. I mean... Only Lovers Left Alive is a cool movie.
They're cool. They're very pained. You know.
The Dead Don't Die is not a cool movie.
No, it's not. It's a very dorky movie.
So I think people were expecting a cool zombie movie. They wanted the genre to be flipped. But instead, Jarmusch has no interest in zombies. So instead, he just made a comedy.
He called it a progression.
A progression.
There's no suspense. It's just a progression.
So I think he did something fresh with the genre by not following any of the classic tropes or story beats.
Oh, I do too. The first time I watched this, I was reading a book and I had my headphones in on a long flight just to have something on in front of me. And I kept noticing weird stuff happening on the screen. I'd look up and be like, that's really funny. So the next time I actually watched it, and I found it super entertaining and funny, and then just kept watching it. And that would be my recommendation for this movie. Just keep watching it.
And then I bought it, and now we've watched it a lot.
We'll watch it some more.
I'm going to watch it more. I love it. I think it's an hour and 45 minutes. It flies by. There's just so much weird to watch movies, and I think you can catch fun things in this film. So I really dig just going through it. Like there's a weird scene where the Chardonnay zombie.
Oh, I was going to mention that.
And people call her an old goat. People are just insulting her. Carol Kane.
Yeah,
that old goat.
She smells of Chardonnay, even in death.
Cheap
Chardonnay.
Oh, I cut you off with that. But cheap Chardonnay.
We should say it in unison. Cheap Chardonnay.
Right, go. I'll do the end with you.
All right. She smells of Chardonnay, even in death. Cheap Chardonnay.
Oh.
High five.
And then Bill Murray stays there to sleep in the prison with her, and everyone's freaking out about it. And Bill Murray says it might bring back past memories. And you're like, what does that mean? That's a weird line. It's just a squirrely...
It's a strange little town, for sure.
But I mean, it's a strange little town. I think it's a very fun film.
Well, the woman at the diner works with Zelda at the mortuary because she pays well, even though she's really weird and she gets good stories out of it.
Yeah, and like the golden Buddha that's just sitting there.
They really have their own little world here.
And also I like that it starts in the cemetery, much like... So Night of the Living Dead, when they drive up to the city, and a lot of the driving scenes do look like Night of the Living Dead driving scenes. And it starts in the cemetery. Night of the Living Dead has its first major scene in a cemetery. So I think the guy just loves Romero zombies. He loves that they have a message to them. These zombies are about consumerism and racial politics and all of that, and the civil rights movement. And I think that's what Jarmusch was drawn to, but he doesn't like any of the other zombies, so he just made a Jarmusch movie with some zombies running around.
Yeah, in Screen Anarchy, he called it a celebration of consciousness and friendships.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
I love the Landry Jones, Danny Glover. They become buds.
Yeah, they are definitely... I mean, this is about little groups of friends sort of getting together, dealing with this whole thing.
Why did Bill Murray buy a plunger at the hardware store? I know he goes, we were at the hardware store, and things happen. But there's a plunger. Is that what happens when you go to a hardware store?
Maybe it's for the station.
We have 12 plungers. I gotta stop going to hardware stores.
Yeah, well, it's a side effect.
For every bathroom we have, I need them.
Yes, all 12 of the bathrooms. I wouldn't want 12 bathrooms. That's 12 bathrooms you have to clean.
It's too many.
Sounds terrible.
It's more pipes to burst.
I hate cleaning the ones here.
All right, so any final notes that you have about this movie? Any final thoughts you want to get out?
Okay, I have one more. On the budget issues, in the Irish Times, Jarmusch mentioned that the team was paid in oatmeal.
What?
Just to say that they were not paid well, and they did the movie because they're part of a tribe. It's sort of his group.
They were paid in oatmeal?
Yeah, that was just... He was being dramatic.
They got scale on this movie.
I think the thing that I want to leave behind with this movie is watch it and keep watching it. And watch it again.
And what I want to say is this is his highest grossing movie.
This was his first mainstream movie.
Which...
Quote unquote.
You know what bums me out though? Because people going into this movie expecting a zombie movie did not expect to get a Jarmusch movie. But this made $14.4 million worldwide. That's a lot for him. Mm-hmm. Considering his budget. Did they ever give you a final budget?
I do not remember.
But I gotta say something. This movie, it opened in 613 theaters, and it did 2.5 million. That's good.
That's quite a lot for him.
Most movies open up in 3,000 screens.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's 4,000 screens. So he opened up a bare minimum of that, and it's still... So people went out to watch this movie. They dug it.
I know. I feel bad that we didn't catch it in the theaters, and that I watched it on multiple...
We bought it.
Formats that aren't great.
We bought it.
don't know, but it would have been a fun one to sit there in the theater and sort of experience.
So no one really has much of an idea of the budget. It's interesting. They don't want to tell you. I'm thinking 5.
Yeah, something small.